It's Nomsa here at Ngosi Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. So with me today, I have Kamau Ema and Kero Ann Cooper. How are you guys?
Hi, Nomsa. Hi, Caroline. Nice to be here again.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
Good. So our topic today is the psychology of aging, navigating age dread with a positive mindset. So we are going to dive into the psychological aspects of age dread with our panel of therapists and mental health professionals as they offer strategies for cultivating a positive mindset towards aging. Carol Ann, you chose this topic. Would you like to explain to our audience, please, what motivated you to choose this topic and and the story behind it, please?
There you go. A few minutes and the words come. Yeah.
My daughter was disturbing me. She got a parcel and then she comes and give it to me.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Wrong time.
Not to worry. But sometimes we need a bit of time to think before words come out, and that's okay. So yeah, this topic, it's one sort of I just found myself looking at and just thought, yeah, I wouldn't mind exploring that again, because there is some things that are going on for me, and I need to really look into it because I think it's holding me back as well. And when you've got that age dread going on, it's because you're probably looking back like I have been, remembering how fit I used to be, all the things I used to do that I can't do now, and where am I going? And it's like, yeah, how can I get myself up and going again? And it can be very heavy and very, just feels very hard to get going at times. So I thought, let's have a look at it. Let's go into it and explore what's the different angles. Maybe there's just one thing I could pick up on that I haven't looked at before, that I could just go, oh, let me have a go at that. So that's where it came from.
It's a very nice topic, and obviously it's something that is prevalent with a lot of people. Anybody that's aging has usually some sort of fear about aging, whether it's the body or the mental health acuity or whatever, psychologically, right? And that fear is around. So prevention methods, how to have a positive mindset about aging, whether it's for women or for men. I mean, there are differences, obviously, but there's also that fear in women, since you're talking about yourself, that first part of aging, which is menopause, and that creates a big fear as well. And it creates that sometimes that mental health issue or mental insecurities, obviously. But it's important to also tell our audience that this mental acuity, that our cognitive functions, they actually start declining from the ages of 30. So it's not even for all age. It starts very early on. And obviously it depends, right? There are some people that have drastic declines and others that maintain a more or less stable decline, right? And so I'm also interested in this topic very much, because starting from the cognitive development to the cognitive decline, they both hang in together. And since I'm a teacher and in high school, and obviously I have adolescents, so there's still that final stage of cognitive development that I am part of, and that I'm teaching certain things about it. It's also interesting to see that second part of our life, right, where things, no matter what we do, decline. And so yeah, I'm super excited to be here today and having that discussion with you, Caroline and Nomsa.
You're muted, Nonsense.
When will
Not muting myself. Edge dread. The fears. I agree with you, Kamau and Kero Ann. I think when it comes to psychology, neuroscience, and philosophy, aging is a mystery. It's a mystery dead, and it offers a practical strategies to encounter its negative effects if you are somebody that does not understand the psychologically underpinning of those fears and apprehensions. And we can pave the way of a holistic and empowering approach to aging. But why do we fear? If we are aging, I watched there is a guy that he's 111 or I don't know, 100 and something on YouTube, but he's actually enjoying his age. He's still running, and he is healthy. He is really, really healthy. He says there's specific food that he eats. So I think the more we get older, some people, they get scared of death. What are you scared of, Kamau? So, but the power of perception is the role of resilience, and it's significant of nurturing the social connections. And if you are actually going through the fears of aging, you have to actually navigate. You have to learn how to navigate part of life in natural, because all of this is like taking our first breath every single day, and the clock is beginning to, it feels like the clock is beginning to tick, making the passage of years into the accumulation of experiences more scarier. So I think it's important to embrace our biological, psychological, and social dimension. Like sometimes I work as a love harmonist, and when somebody comes, they want to register with the agency, they are like, they have labeled themselves that I getting old. I've got to meet somebody at this age. They have this thing planned that they're getting old, or find somebody who's 20 something and they tell you that I should have children, started having children by now, because there's fears. It's all social media. So I don't know, Kamau, when you're doing your teaching at the college, what do you think about the fears of people getting, like, saying, labeling themselves of getting old? And
look, it's I mean, everybody has some sort of fear, and I mean, I'm not afraid of aging because I know I'm kind of young in my head, and that age concept for me, it's just a number. I totally agree with it, because if you practice certain things, I'm going to share them later on. If you practice certain things and activities, and you can maintain more or less a healthy lifestyle, which allows you to maintain your health in general, whether mental or physical, like that gentleman that you were talking about. Of course, there are genetics that are involved as well that give some people better chances than others. Diseases, hereditary diseases, all of that is taken into account when we're talking about the dreads of aging and how it affects us. Now, with my students, since we're starting next week, there's not much that I could share with them at this stage, but what I do share, or what I've already shared before, is teaching, for instance, neurolinguistic programming, teaching them positive psychology, allowing them to keep these things active that probably maybe in the future helps them out. right? A lot of people fear death. On my end, I'm not afraid to die. I mean, if I'm dead, I'm dead. There's nothing I can do about it. Yes, some people will be sad, hopefully. Others will be happy. It doesn't make a difference in my life because it's over. And so, as everything in life must come to an end and nature decays, why should our brain not decay? Why should our brain be different or our body be different? So it's still part of that change factor that I've said. Change is inevitable. You either adapt to the change or you're gone. Question what it is you do with it, right? Right, Caroline?
Absolutely. And interesting, you're talking about talking to younger people about aging and age, because I think there is no concept of getting old there. And I remember it didn't bother me. It's like, oh, it's just another number, just another number. And it's never bothered me until a couple of years ago, when I suddenly realized that I was about 68 at the time, or approaching my 68th birthday. And I realized that actually, because there's something that I feel myself holding back from, and I realized that I couldn't see anything beyond 70 in my mind. And it was like, wow. Because normally it's just like, yeah, it goes on, it goes on. But there was nothing for me beyond 70. And so I did a process about that to open up. And I managed to open up a glimmer and a window of possibility. And I was like, oh, okay. So things changed. I was able to celebrate my 68th birthday quite happily. And I've been long, and I'm quite happy to approach my 70th this January. But what I think you start to realize is mortality, how much closer your mortality rate is. There's something there. It's like, oh, I might not get done everything I wanted to. Because you always have, or I did, I always had this, well, there's plenty of time. I can get this done and I can get that done. But all of a sudden it's like, well, will I? And I know for the last, it's been quite a few years now. So we've had we're 2023. So that's 3 years, probably about last 7 years, possibly maybe a bit more. I have not been as active. I sort of stopped the level of activity that I was doing, and I was sitting more and more during the day. And I knew what I was doing, but I couldn't stop myself. And I still kept sitting. And then, but there were things that I needed to focus on at home. And there were some difficulties and challenges going on. So I was actually using all my tools and techniques to focus on clearing the way for resolving what was needed to be resolved. And it was quite a lot of hard work energetically. It really took all my skills and trust this one particular year to clear the way to actually successfully being able to find property and move. And I think that really knocked me for six. I hadn't realized how much energy I put into that. And then when we got here, and it was perfect place. I say perfect place. And I was going, okay, thank you. But it tested me right to the limit. And then I still found myself sitting. I was out a bit. But then COVID set in and lockdown. And all of a sudden, that was as if there was permission for me to just sleep. And I literally slept most of lockdown. And then started to start waking up a bit and getting up and start moving. But I was still sitting. And the thing is, I know from what my aunt was doing, that she got to a point of fear where she wouldn't go out and walk because she was fearful of falling over. She only ever fell over once, but that was enough for her to not go out and walk again. And everybody around her said, oh, it's okay. We'll pick you up. We'll take you, or you stay where you are. And I think, no, help her get up and move, you know, because I could see what was happening to her, and I would get her up and I'd take her out for a walk when I was able to visit. But she wouldn't go out on her own. And I could see the decline with her. And so I can see the decline. I can see the decline in myself, but I don't seem to be able to do much about it. And I've put on so much weight at the front, you know, my abdomen, and I know there's other problems going on there, but it's just sitting and sitting. And I know that also if you sit, you're not helping yourself mentally, because it's movement that actually creates neuronal pathways, you know? So all of this learning that I know I got, I was like, okay. So I do bits of it, and I still plodding my way through it. And I feel like I'm slowly sort of waking up. So maybe when I get to 70, there might be something that's going to open up there. I don't know, because I'm starting to wake up now. But that certainly is something to be aware of. But it's that fear, that sudden realization there's mortality. I'd never thought of mortality before, or even feared death. And I don't actually fear death. It's more the fear of, I'm not going to get done what I want to get done. Time isn't as abundant as I thought it was. And then even that's a myth, because you never know when you're going to go. And if anything, COVID taught us, you know, boom, you could be gone tomorrow. So it's, crazy, isn't it?
I think it's the and obviously I'm not talking directly to you, I'm talking in general. It's the hubris of mankind that I'm alive, I will live. There's not and we have that sense. I mean, people go to bed again thinking, that's all right, I'll go to bed and I'll wake up, I'll do it tomorrow. And well, you don't know if there's a tomorrow, right? And now when you're getting to a certain age, you start realizing, well, that tomorrow is here, but I haven't done anything, and can I do it, right? It's all that, maybe a sense of regret. I'm going to assume that it sets in, that in a way where, oh, I didn't do that, do I have time to do it? And I think this is the important part about aging, obviously, is that one can always do something different. One can, as long as one is capable of getting there behind off that couch, right? That sedimentary state, as you mentioned, it's actually one of the greatest factors in the cognitive decline. And as you mentioned, movement, activities, getting yourself around, right? That's what helps you maintain a healthy lifestyle mentally. So yeah, no, I get your point. Obviously, I'm not there yet, and I'm not fearful of it. However, every day what I started practicing is that every day I am grateful for what I've done and what I have been gifted to be able to do. And if I have time to do more or something different, something else that I want, then I will be gifted with that time. And so instead of thinking of time as not having enough of it, I think the idea that whatever time we get is an actual gift, and we should use that. It should, obviously, if you want to, right, to use that time to grow and improve yourself in whatever way it is. So yeah, I hope that you start getting up again and start moving, because it is what it is, right? It's it makes a difference in our life.
And that mortality rate is always there.
Right.
You never know when you're going to go. So
Exactly.
why all of a sudden it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, Namsa, you were going to say something.
Sorry, somebody was at the door. Yes, I was saying something. I was saying what you're saying, Carol Annie, is very, very important because we don't know when we're gonna go, and you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared in a healthy way, though, not to say, because life has no guarantees. Like Kamal says, if you listen to Ngozi Talk Show's intro video, it says find your own voice, and Kamal comes in and says life has no guarantees for tomorrow. And which is, Carol Ann, you're right. Pandemic actually taught us something about life. Millions and millions of people were wiped out who didn't think they were going to go. And so it's very, very important. There are so many people who spend so much money. They want to look good. You see how my skin is? I use olive oil, really olive oil for. I stopped. I listened to my pastor one day when he was preaching, and then I went online, and everyone says olive oil, olive oil. I was like, I got rid of everything. I think I used to spend £250 for skincare, and my skin didn't change. It was like, and then I started. I've been using olive oil for a very, very long time. I use it for my hair as well. My friend always said, "Nomsa, your hair is really thick." I have my expensive products, and she's like, "What is it?" I'm like, olive oil. So that's what I use. But they really proper olive oil from the shops, supermarkets. So what I do is I just take it to my pastor and just I say, pray for it. I need some Holy Spirit in it to look good in my skin. So and that's what my skin is like this. So you don't have to, actually, we don't know, like guys, I was telling you that on Saturday I could have been killed. So we don't know how we're gonna go. I left home saying goodbye to my children, thinking everything was okay. But then I found myself in this event where somebody trying to push me on the stairs. And after the event, I'm looking at the length of the stairs. I'm like, there was no way that I would have survived if that has happened. It was a shock for me for 2 days. So it actually shows that, life is too short, and you have to have this grace in you where psychologically you're happy with it, and no worrying about getting old. When I watch this guy that is 100 and something on YouTube, he's so very happy. He says he doesn't worry about anything. He is happy whenever he dies. He doesn't mind. Like, I had my great-grandmother died, she was 109. And I say she was a very, very beautiful woman inside. She never worries about anything. But when she was like on her final days, she would speak and say, now I feel I've had enough. Now I need to go. And her death was like, she just wanted that moment of her going. She was like, I'm tired of leaving. But us, we were not tired of her. We wanted her to stay with us. But unfortunately, death took her. So it's very, very important, like what Kamal was saying, that, psychological journey of aging it ushers in a found psychological journey. And Kamal, you mentioned cognitive functions where that evolve with it. So wisdom accumulate and perspective shapes as individuals navigate midlife and beyond. So you have to, when people go through that, they get confronted by existential questions about the purpose of the meaning of their lives. Like Carol Ann, you mentioned that. So it's very, very important to actually, but some people, when they go through that phase, it can lead to personal growth and the revolution of one's priorities. So it depends with somebody. For me, like now, I know my age, I'm 45. and but I'm embracing my age. I'm enjoying my age, and I'm just each and every day when I wake up in the morning, I'm grateful for my life. And I'm grateful for spending these 45 years and just being me and doing the things that I love to do. And now I'm preparing for my children. Like our lives is based on us and the children. I was saying to my friends, when I die, everything that I die, I've got 2 kids. I'm gonna make sure that my will is written in details. So when there will be no arguments, there will be no family members coming and interfere. I'm gonna make sure that every penny is actually arranged, and if it depends with how I do things, I'm gonna do what, like when my children is a certain age, they can take the money or this certain age. So I'm not gonna give the money all in one go, because otherwise they will start wasting it. So when Hope turns 25, she gets her lump sum of money. When she turns 28, she gets her other money. It's not gonna go just in one go, because otherwise the children when you have not worked for something, it's lucky if that person they use it and use it properly. So those are the things that I'm making sure that I'm enjoying my life. As long as I make it to heaven, that's my priority. I don't want to go to hell. That's my priority, to make it to hell. I want to say to people, I do not want to be on bedside with God. Otherwise, I don't want to go to hell. So those are the things that and Carol Anne, you're looking really well for your age as well. So you are the good as the example to other people that make excuses, that if you can be at gossip talk shows, that there are younger people who will tell you, use their age and say, I'm getting old. With matchmaking, you find people like they tell you that I'm getting old. I'm sitting there, I'm like, are you going to stop crucifying yourself? Yeah, they say like 20 something, they're getting old, they're going to have babies, they're going to have this. I'm like, where is it written that you're going to have babies and this? You can actually freeze your eggs and prepare yourself. You don't have to rush anything. So you can actually now, there's lots of things that you can do to make sure that your eggs and everything you have it if you're ready to, when you're ready to have babies. Or a marriage, sometimes you find people have children, they're like, I'm not married. And I'm like, tell me where it says when you are 30 something, you got to be married by then, or when you are 28, you got to be married by then. And they're like, my friends are married. I'm like, can we stop comparing? Because it's stress as well that can affect your aging as well. So you don't want the stress. You want to live a free life. You want to embrace your age. You want to embrace the person that you are becoming. And if you go to all these dating apps, Kamau, you guys want the younger stars, young stars, they got to look like models, like they're looking for relationship, but they're not really, they're looking for women like models and stuff. If you hear people that are on dating apps, the story that they tell you is so sad. Our society, how it's turned into. But hey, it's life. Over to you, Carol Ann. But anybody that is watching anyway, your age doesn't define you.
You go, Kamal.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Right. So I think it's important for people to understand what declines in a sense, and how we can prevent these declines, because that's what we're talking about, right? And so at the start of our early 30s, our cognitive functions decline, and that's the natural business of life. That's how it is. So the things that decline Actually, let's talk about the things that don't decline. Most of them are usually our numerical abilities and our verbal abilities. These are the ones that stay the most constant, obviously, unless you have any sort of disease. Those that have significant decline with aging are our cognitive functions, our memory loss, our executive functions, and our information processing. These are the ones that have the most decline throughout age. Now, we've spoken about the fact that things decline and we can't help it, but needless to say, we can prevent it to a certain extent. There is a way for us humans to take care of our body, to take care of our mind. Positive psychology talks about being in a positive state, in a capable state, in an able state, in a state where possibilities are there. The more possibilities we create in our life, the more probability of living a fruitful and long life. And when we talk about neurolinguistic programming, we can add that into the positive psychology by adjusting the words that we say to ourselves. For instance, Nomsa says, I don't want to go to hell. Well, why are you running away from it? Why not say something positive? I want to go, and stick to the positive, right? I want to go to heaven, right? And so these things.
Oh, I have to declare it, Kamal. I definitely don't want to go to hell.
Yeah,
I
but
want
you
to
see,
go
that's
to
that
heaven.
you're okay. Let's talk about the positive impact in positive psychology. When you tell yourself, I don't want to do something, the brain doesn't understand the not. And so
Oh, mine understands. So anyway, by the way,
never mind. This is something in our brain. So this is in subconscious. The subconscious doesn't understand the not. That's how it works. It's the same thing as if I were to tell you, and we tested that before, don't think of an elephant. The only thing that you'll be thinking about is an elephant. Because first of all, you have to tell yourself, I don't want to think of an elephant, which made you think of the elephant. And by thinking of the elephant, you're going to repeat to yourself that you don't want to think of the elephant, which you already repeated again. And it's a continuous loop. So that's the whole concept about the subconscious not understanding the negative part. Now, positive psychology, positive talking, a mindset where you are ready to do things, stand up, have routines that help you out. There are vitamins that can help you out with certain functions with memory loss. There is, I think there's omega-3, B12, and what else was it? B6, I think, if I remember correctly. This, if you start with that already at an early age, you can push that aging effect in your brain, including as well diets, healthy diets. Why do you think the Mediterraneans live so long? Most Mediterraneans live very long. Why? Because they have healthy diets. And I'm going to talk about that diet in a bit. There's something called the blue zones, but we'll get to that. So we have vitamins, we have healthy diets. All of this helps our body, our mind, adding to certain other things that can actually help us. We are talking about memory loss, awareness, decision functions, and mental acuity, right? So what can we do to help expand that beyond just vitamins? Test your brain, push your brain to its limits. Learn a new language. Learn a musical instrument. Music has been proven in several researches that it helps people with dementia, for instance, or Alzheimer's. Once they practice music, their memory picks up again. Music, languages, a new skill, right? Partake in activities such as, I'm going to give you a simple martial art, Tai Chi, Qigong, dance. All these functions, all these activities, one, they make you move. Two, they allow you to express yourself, express your body, make connections between your limbs and your brain. All of that helps, right? Now, memory loss, play memory games. My grandmother used to have and that was even when she was young, like she considered herself young. She was in the beginning of her 60s. She would make a list and write down where her pots and certain things are left in the kitchen, right? And she would count and would say the numbers, and then she would leave that sticker, and then she would go to bed, and then the next day she would test herself. And she would say, I have so many this, so many that, this is here, this is that, this is it. So test yourself. Sudoku games, wordplay games, crosswords, discussions with interesting people like Carol Adams is doing right now. Of course, that means that I'm interesting. So you see the ego is very well lifted here. And Nomsa, of course, is interesting. So there is lots to do. The most important part is to start doing these things so that you can push your brain, push your awareness. Push your awareness. How do you want to be aware? Play games where you can pay attention to things, pay attention to conversations that are a little bit further away so that you imagine what they're saying if you can't hear them. Try to read lips. Funny one, very interesting for your brain. Watch movies with subtitles. Very good for the brain. So then you have the awareness of what's happening, and at the same time you're practicing reading and understanding what's happening. Good example, right? So many exercises, so many tools that are available nowadays for us to improve to have an onset of our cognitive functions and cognitive decline. There was a research done, I think in early 2007, I think, where symptoms of dementia were delayed by 4 years in bilinguals and polyglots in comparison to monolinguists. So in 4 years, right? That's already something. Now, coming to talk about something which I said earlier, and it is the blue zones. Have you heard of the blue zones, Caroline? Nomsa? No? All right. So the blue zones are countries with the highest number of centennials in the world. And not only are they centennials, but they are functioning, cognitively apt people that are contributing to society and the environment around them. So how do they do that? Well, they all have kind of a similar standing point, right? And one of them is their diet. Our diet impacts our cognitive functions, both positively and negatively. So if you eat healthy, if you eat well, then you will live longer. Now, these countries are the island of Okinawa in Japan. There is an island in Greece. I can't remember which one. There is also Sardinia. There's also somewhere in Costa Rica and some other islands. A lot of them are islands, obviously, right? Why do they live longer and healthier and partake in society and work? Well, they have that part, which is their diet. That's the first premise. Let's call it the Mediterranean diet. And the second part, they have purpose. Their purpose is the most important thing, and their purpose is not a selfish part. Having a life purpose is usually, there is a higher purpose, which is contribution to society. And these centennial people, they are constantly thinking, how can I contribute to society? How can I be part of society even in my age? Some of them, like Nomsa mentioned, they're walking around, running, doing sports, martial arts, teaching, doing their gardening, planting, and farming, lots and lots and lots of different like activities that allows them to live longer, to have purpose in life, both for themselves and society. Now, this this diet that I'm talking about, which is the diet that the Blue Zone have, and usually Mediterranean countries, it is more plant-based. They do have a combination of different nutrients. However, their food is healthy, it's organic, it's grown in their own farms or own lands, or they partake in buying it from other healthy farmers, right? So, and there's a table of food about it, and they, but like I said, if you look into the Mediterranean diet, this is something that's quite useful. One of them is that there was research as well done on that, the people that had a Mediterranean, or participants that stuck with the Mediterranean diet, had 33% lower risks of mild cognitive impairments or even Alzheimer's disease. 33%. Can you imagine that? Food makes a difference. And I mean, I think that's what I was saying, like they are having a Mediterranean diet. So think of olive oil, think of fruits and vegetables, herbs and spices, think of fish, seafood, nuts and seeds, eggs, and then at the complete top of it, that's where the meats come in, 1-2 per month. That's usually how the Mediterraneans eat. I mean, you can have it once per week, it doesn't matter, but fish-based, right? Nutrients that help your body. So these are lots of things that can help. And obviously, one of the most important things, I've been yapping about for a bit now, one of the most important things is actually being in contact with people, having conversations. So I give my mic away to you, Caroline.
I think
before Caroline, Janko is saying it's very interesting to talk about this subject. I have parents over 70, but I'm not getting any younger either. Life is short. There is an age when anyone will go.
Yeah. That's right. So it is about enjoying the moment, every moment. And actually something that, George Bernard Shaw says, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. And for me, play is really important.
Yeah, and that's why I still game.
Yeah, play new games, because actually your brain gets used to, once it gets to know something, it fires very quickly and it just goes, oh yeah, I know that. There's nothing new happening for your brain. And there's no new neural pathways being built. You do something new and it's like, oh, don't know this. And that's why it takes you that bit longer to learn it, because there's new neural pathways being built. But the more you practice it, the quicker it becomes. So certainly, learn something new. But a couple of things that you were saying, Kamal, that are actually part of fears, isn't it? Is loss of social connections, because you get, you find friends disappearing, or even your family. I'm sort of now nearly at the top of my family. I think there's only 2 older relatives than me left. I'm going, because all my cousins are younger than me. And there's that realization that I'm nearly at the top. And so there's that sort of part of connection is gone. So, but also friends, they change, they shift, they go. And so that you do tend to lose connections. So again, it's creating new ones. And you don't need to have lots of connections, but it's making sure that you reach out. How many friends and family do you actually reach out to? Or are you sitting around going, nobody gets in touch with me? Because there's that poor me, there's that negative mindset that pulls you down. And again, as you were saying, Kamal, it's get up, move, shift that mindset. Well, okay, if they're not reaching out to me, how about I reach out to them? You never know what might come out of it. And even if it's only one person that replies to you, actually the joy in that reply and that connection outweighs anything else. You start realizing that actually, yeah, they've been thinking about it too, but just haven't got around to it. So make those connections. And loss of purpose. That again is a fear of aging. What am I going to do with myself? Especially when you get into retirement. But just set some goals. But I love what you were saying about the those centennials. They've got purpose. They're making themselves useful in society. And so it comes from you. Don't sit around and wait for others to come and get you. What niche or path could you carve out? And think of it as an adventure. An adventure in exploring something that actually is unknown. And I think that's the biggest fear of aging. We have no idea. It's the unknown. So how about an adventure into the unknown? The unknown realm of aging. What could you find out, I wonder? What could you explore? And have that childlike curiosity. What else could I find out? What else could I do? Because that keeps your mind thinking. And it is a case of, and I totally get what you're saying, Kamal, the universe doesn't hear the negative, the not. It only hears the action. And so that's what happens. So if you find yourself saying it, it's okay, sometimes you need to speak it out, but then shift it to the positive. So it gets no, this is the action, and give that heavier weight. This is what I want. So certainly it's and I think something that just popped into my head is having fun, bringing laughter, bringing humor into it. How dull and sort of depressing can it get? Well, it can get as dull and depressing as you decide to let it go. Again, pick yourself up and go and do something that will help you laugh. And so I think something I've been thinking about for a couple of years now, I went to a comedy show where somebody was training to do comedy. They'd done some sessions. And I got the leaflet and I saw it the other day. It's on my board. And I just happened to notice it again. Something's there and you ignore it. Well, it came into my view the other day and I'm thinking, maybe I ought to go and challenge myself with that, because that scares me. Like, oh God, I don't think I could do that. But maybe that's just what I need to do, So, hey-o, I think that's maybe my one action. But have some fun. Find the humor, find the laughter, because that's the biggest tonic of all. And there is a book, and it's been out for many years, many, many, many years. You are what you eat. This has been around. It's not new science. It's not anything that is new. It keeps coming around and we keep saying the same thing. Why are we still saying the same thing and nobody seems to be getting it? Maybe there's something new needs to be said, or it's said in a different way. How can we get people to understand? You are what you eat. Your gut is a brain. It's connected to your brain. And so that is your gut brain. So it's all part connected. So that's something I really need to look at, is my diet. But I think I might start actually eating olive oil. Maybe
Yeah.
that might help.
I mean, one of the things that they do usually is, or at least Mediterraneans, some of them, those that dare to do it, they take one raw clove of garlic in the morning, a spoon of olive oil, and like some raw onion as well. Of course, you have a stinky mouth, but but see, this is also something else. I mean, there's also intermittent fasting, where you clean your body, right? So there are many methods, but again, look into that blue zone Mediterranean diet and see how it affects you, how you like it. Food does make a difference, and of course, since it's Europe, alcohol, it's one of the worst things for our bodies. Like, if you can remove it from you, don't have to have fun. You don't need alcohol to have fun.
Yeah.
You can have fun without. It makes such a huge difference in our body and our system. Just have it occasionally, and I'm saying really on celebrations, a birthday, a New Year's, maybe another very special event. But just one or two. Don't get drunk. I mean, at a certain age, you don't want to wake up with these, oh my God, the hangover, right? What happened yesterday? Blackouts, right? For those that black out. So why go through that process?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, alcohol is no good for you. It's no good for the brain. If you read what's his name in the book? What's the guy? Bob Proctor. When he wrote that Think and Rich, the guy that originally wrote
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich. What's his name? Napoleon
Hill.
Yeah, Napoleon Hill. He wrote. There's a book that he wrote about alcohol and how the universe and God and Lucifer works, how he actually uses alcohol to lure people into his kingdom. Yeah, I've got that book. Sometimes when I read it, I laugh. And Kamau, not talking about heaven, my friend was reminding me. Yes, it's very important to eat healthy, and my family, they always say disgusting. I like my green juice, like with all the vegetables together, and then I blend it together, and then I just have it's so yummy, and they're like, that is disgusting, but it's so beautiful. And loads of olive oil, Kamau, you said. Dark chocolate is good for you, and the normal olive oil, you use it for your food as well, and drink it a little bit, not too much, a little bit. And yes, there's eating healthy is really, really good, and you have to look after yourself in fasting. Kamau, you mentioned about fasting. I fast 3 days a week, every week. Now we're going on 70-day fast. If I can compare my brain 14 years ago than now, there is so much. I was younger then, but my brain wasn't like this. There's so much difference. So you activate your inner being and your creativity as well with changes. And the whole thing, the happiness within everything changes, because we live in this world where there is so much stress. Avoid stress as well, unnecessary stress. Some people get wound up very, very easily. Like Kamau was saying, alcohol. When we go out, like myself, if I go out, I see people, they say, I cannot go to a party where I have to drive. I'm like, do you need to drink it to have fun? They can't have fun without drinking. It's substance. For me, take me to a party, I have much fun than somebody who's drinking. So, and I was talking to the girls after the wedding, my friend's wedding. They like, Nomsa, are you not tired? I was like, no, I'm not. And they're like, why? I was dancing all night. And I was like, I have energy. So you can't, when you fast, you activate your energy, your inner spirit. So your energy is up there. But when you don't do anything, no personal development, no meditation, you are like a zombie. So you have to, your health has to come first. Everything you do, worry, take away all the worries. There's no point in worrying about something that hasn't happened. Or even if things happen, just try to live that healthy lifestyle where you take away your worries and embrace the life. Embrace if you are dreading the root edge, dread, just look at the roots. What are the roots that are causing you to feel that way? And what are the roots that are contributing to your fears? And because when you approach life, later life, there's anxiety sometimes, and people get, there's so much things as an individual. But for me at this moment, I've made a choice. I'm just enjoying my life. And after that death on Saturday again, and when I get invited, now I'm going to pick and choose my friends. Honestly, Carol Anna, I'm going with you where you say you don't have to have lots of people around you, just few people and lots of social connection. You don't have to. I find that the people that I have, my friend, she's a good person anyway. I don't know what happened. I'm still figuring out what happened this Saturday, honestly. I'm still asking God why. But I think my friend is got something to do with it, because he realized what I have figured out. I figured out so many things in that wedding. So, because my friend, she's my best friend, and we've never really had any arguments. And I was so happy and so excited. And I come home, Martin goes, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm not okay." He goes, "Okay, what do you want us to do?" I was like, "I want to be left alone." And still, honestly, I look at my children. I was like, I would not have come back to my children, and that is so not good. But I thank God that I made it, and I'm not gonna fear. I'm just gonna continue going away, enjoy life. And if anyone that is watching, please, is very, very important. And some people, they spend so much money on aging products. You don't need to do that, to spend lots and lots of money so you can look younger. You don't need to do it. Look at myself. I'm 45, my skin is so smooth. All I do is I just eat health. I eat my smoothie juice that my children call disgusting. I drink my smoothie juice. I don't skip meals like Carol Ann. That's naughty. Don't skip meals. Please bring your breakfast. I have my breakfast, I have my lunch, and I have my dinner. And in between, I don't eat big portion. I just eat in between. I just eat small things as I go. So just have that routine where you put your health first. And putting your health first means no skipping meals because you want to be skinny. Does not work like that. You want to be skinny, you eat healthy, you go for a walk. Walk is very effective. So those who don't know, I'm a sports person. I love keeping fit. Dancing is very good. You communicate with your body. If you feel that your body is dying inside, activate it with the right music. Oh, I have a big. I'm not going to make it, guys. This one is big. I have to make a video for it, audience that are watching, regarding the music. I killed something in my house yesterday. My daughter went to a festival in Como. So I just have to not to spoil anything. This is big, so I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to make a video of it. I think it's going to take me 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and I'll show you guys. So just eat health and embrace life. Life is a blessing. And don't worry about stress. Don't worry about people, families. There are families who are dominant. Don't worry about them. Friends who are dominant, don't worry about them. All you got to do is worry about being on the good side of life with God. Kamal does not like it.
Who said I don't like it? I say I like it. I just say what I like, not what I don't like. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's true.
it's 11 minutes past, guys.
Yeah.
Any words of encouragement, Kamal, and tell our audience, please, who you are and when they can find you and if they can call you as a friend.
All right. So words of encouragement. I will use an old Arabic saying, which is live your life as if you were to live forever and die for your life as if you were to die tomorrow. The concept is live life purposefully as if you were going to live forever. Partake in purpose, partake in the joys of life, partake in everything that makes you have fun, enjoy your time, and have purpose. But at the same time, live for your death as if you were to die tomorrow, meaning take advantage of the time that you have today. Take advantage of it. Do certain things that you wouldn't dare doing in a good way, obviously, however you see good. Take care of your life. Make sure that if you want to, leave a legacy behind you in case you go to bed and you don't wake up. I love that saying. It's very for me. It's a very interesting topic. Where can people find me? You can find me on my website, kamalema.com. Very simple. You can find me on Instagram as Life Purpose with Kamal. You can find me on TikTok, Life Purpose with Kamal. You can find me on LinkedIn with my name. And what I do is I help people create a foundation to a purposeful life. How do I do that? I use a combination of positive psychology, cognitive behavior psychology, and NLP, all combined together with a little bit of ancient Egyptian methodologies to give you a track, to give you a roadmap to live a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. The mic goes to you, Carol-Ann.
Thank you. And there's a quote by Abraham Lincoln that says very similar to what you just said. It's not about the years in your life, but the life in your years. I just love that play on words. It's beautiful. That it's about finding resilience, that bounce back ability. And each time you feel like you're set down, just find a way of bouncing back. And that's what will help you to keep moving forwards. So set new goals, set new intentions. Have a look at some old dreams that perhaps you parked. Are they ones that are not really viable anymore? Or are there aspects of them that you could perhaps pick up and go, well, actually, maybe I could do this bit of it. Have a look. Go into your heart. What would you really like to do? What could you do? Just set some new goals and new intentions and then follow them through. Because as C.S. Lewis says, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. And with that said, you can find me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and I also have a Facebook group called Get Your Book Written. So if you haven't written your story yet, there's something you could do. And if it's something that you, oh, I'm not a writer, find that writer within. Come and see me. This is what I do. I help you to unlock that writer within. We all have the ability to write. We all have that ability to express. So it's finding your voice and then it's putting it onto paper and sharing your voice, your message, your story. So think about it. That could be something that you could do. And that would get the old grey cells going. So thank you, Nonsa.
Right within. For me is embrace the age, the wisdom of age. It's very, very important to actually use your aging as the opportunity to share your knowledge and also contribute to the growth of our future generation. Our children love to hear what our generation have learned and embrace the role of being a mentor in them, and also pass down the stories and create legacy that transcend time. I am who I am honestly because of my grandmother. My sister sometimes she says, I used to look at my grandmother and say, what this woman is thinking. She used to sit down with me and tell me stories. She would tell me the stories of her generation, and I listened. And that time of her sitting down and not worrying about her getting old and telling me stories, it has motivated me to become the person that I am today. So if you're worried about your aging, just embrace it. Eat healthy and surround yourself with the good people and stop worrying. Really, really stop worrying about life. Life, we don't know what tomorrow will bring, but we can actually worry about today. And that's why when you set goals, like Carol Ann says, set goals. Don't go and live in 5 years' time, you live in today. The goals of 5 years, you need to implement something in order to reach there. And then enjoy life. It's a process. So that's what we do at Ngozi Talk Shows. We help you find your own voice, lead from within. And if you want to find that, unleash that power within, a way you can look at your age and embrace it, just get in touch with us. We have different coaches from all walks of life, and you can connect with whoever coach you want to connect with. My email is on all my social media. Actually, don't use LinkedIn, email, Gmail. Just use info. Info, I think, is everywhere. Use the info, my business email, and just get in touch. And if you want to connect with Kamal, or you want to connect with Carol Ann, or other coaches that are offline today, please do so. We have different coaches. Kamal, she's a life coach. Carol Ann, a different coach. I'm a different coach as well. So we all have a different qualifications. Kamal is a psychologist. I'm a psychologist. So Sharina is a psychologist as well. Who else is a psychologist? I think there's different people with different, and also we come from, like myself, I'm not afraid of aging because I was raised in Africa. I used to enjoy farming, by the way, Kamal, but I'm in the UK, I miss it. Yeah. So just enjoy life. We are here to Ngozi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, UK time, 1 p.m. Sometimes I'm on my own, or sometimes I'm with these guys if they are not doing. Most of the time it's Carol Ann that I'm with, and Amanda. Carol Ann, Amanda. Kamau just pops in when he's he's like a balloon. I miss him. I miss broadcasting with him every day, but things had to change. He's busy now. So that's us at Ngozi Talk Shows. Have a good weekend, guys. And like Kamal says, don't drink too much alcohol. It's not good for you. I don't drink alcohol at all. I've never tested it. I think I did test it once. Somebody gave it to me. And they were like, is it no good? And I was like, that tastes disgusting. Honestly, I was like, it tastes disgusting. I was like, I don't understand the taste. So I don't drink, but I enjoy my life. So just cut down on the substance and enjoy life. God bless. Live with grace.
God bless.